Alright, and the format for this one is a little different, so you're going to have 3 minutes to do an introduction, you're going to have 3 rebuttals for 30 seconds each, and you have 3 question responses for 90 seconds each, so it's going to be a bit longer. We're going to start right here on my right with you, Mark.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Mark Neubauer. I'm running for Student Senate President. I've been on Student Senate for the last 3 years. Currently I'm junior, BME, kind of throw that out there. Been on Senate for the last 3 years. I started off as freshman resident rep, and then resident rep, and currently I'm vice president of student affairs. So I've done a lot on Senate. I just want to talk a little bit about my role leading the Student Affairs Committee. So currently there's 5 different areas we work on. We work improving GDS employee quality food, improving the library, improving the campus center, working with public safety to ensure that our campus is safe and secure, and then also improving and working with the local businesses in our local New York community. So we've been immensely successful on Student Affairs Committee. In addition, one of the things I've been working on is the Safford proposals. So Student Activities Fund Review Board proposals have helped write over $200,000 worth of campus improvements that we're going to bring to our campus, whether that's charging lockers, water bottle filling stations, better outdoor furniture. We do all the research, and then we write proposals for it, we propose it to administration, we get it approved. So that's something that we're getting done. In addition, as BPSA, I've been leading public office hours, which is once a week we go to the campus center lobby, and we have surveys on tablets, and we get feedback from the student body. And your feedback's really, really important to us, and one thing I've done with that, one example is we asked questions about extending the library hours. We got good feedback with it, went to the library, went to the provost, and now they're extended 2 hours later. So that's just one example of how I've been able to get things done. And my goals for the position are really to increase Senate transparency so everyone knows what's going on and just to make sure we're as effective as we can be. In addition, I want to have an open door policy for my office. In our new office, we're going to be moving downstairs where the bookstore space is right now so we can be more accessible to the student body. In addition, I want to make it easier for clubs to request funding. Clubs are really the backbone, our student organizations are the backbone of NJIT. We have over 70 plus clubs, so making it easier for them to have events that benefit the entire student body is really going to help all of us. It's really going to improve the quality of campus life. In addition, I want to continue to do the student affairs work that I've been doing, such as the large-scale campus improvements, specifically focusing on the areas of campus center, which again, everyone's using, the library, which everyone's using for studying, and outdoor furniture and decor, really to make our campus look a lot better. And then finally, I want to make Senate itself more effective. So we increased office hour requirements for e-board members and for senators. And like Dave was saying before, I really want to develop the student at large program. So even if you don't have an elected position, you can be effective in helping us to make a meaningful difference on campus. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Johny, you have 3 minutes.
My name is Johny Yaccoub, and I'm a current sophomore at NJIT. I'm an accelerated student, so next year is my junior year, so my last year here. And I'm a bio major, not sure if I said that. So I haven't served on Senate, I haven't been a part of Senate, so you might be wondering, going from absolutely nothing and then trying to run for student president. Well, first thing, every year, any president that ever runs, one thing they always try to focus on is making Senate transparent, making e-board, executive board, or any type of club, making sure that the students they're easily able to come to them and ask any questions. But coming from an outside perspective, for someone that has never been on e-board, it's easier personally, I feel it's easier for someone that's on the outside, someone that feels that maybe a club is exclusive, or feels that the events aren't, I don't want to say open to the public, but they're not brought out there. I feel that it's easier for an individual like me to be able to make sure that all the events or any questions, anything that any of the students, whether freshmen, sophomores, juniors, or anything, it's easier to make it easier for them to come to Senate with any questions or with anything. I had a couple ideas for next year. One thing I understand, obviously everybody sees the new parking garage, but whether it's with the old parking garage or the new parking garage, it's always going in, whether it's during rush hour or anything, it's always traffic. Everybody's standing behind each other, each person's looking left to right, trying to find, is there a spot here, is there a spot over there, whether I can go around or do anything. there's a system that Jersey Gardens Mall they have, where it's a sensor under each parking spot, and there's a light. If the light is green, that means the spot is open. If a light is red, that means obviously the spot is taken. It just makes it easier for anyone going in the garage or outside of the garage. Another thing that I also wanted to do is having an NJIT reward system. So it's basically having, if you want to call it Highlander points, every time you purchase something, you'd be able to get points and then use that points, whether it's in a bookstore or for food or for any other uses on NJIT campus. Obviously, like I said earlier, everybody wants to make Senate more transparent to any other clubs. It's easier if you're coming from an outside perspective because you've felt everything that everybody else has been doing, but you'll have a better job at doing it because you've experienced it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Johnny. And Renee?
Hello, my name is Renee Collins, and I'm a third-year industrial design student at NJIT. For those who haven't met me, I've been very active on campus. I'm currently the editor-in-chief of the Nucleus Yearbook, the secretary of the Industrial Design Student Association, the secretary of the Black Student Union, an RA in Cypress Hall, and I was the the industrial design rep for the Student Senate previously. Because I have such different experiences on campus, I think that I've been able to connect with many students and many clubs and really create relationships so that I understand how Senate can improve the student body. I've always said that the best thing about NJIT is the people and the community we build through clubs. So one of my main goals is to really foster a really stronger connection between Senate and clubs and organizations on campus. And I think that Senate can learn a lot from the community that we build within our own clubs. I've been the editor-in-chief of the Nucleus Yearbook, and I've been a part of this club for 3 years now, and it's been an absolutely incredible experience, and I'm very grateful for it. And then within that club, my main goal this year as editor-in-chief has been to connect with people outside the Nucleus Yearbook. So I've met with over 50 different clubs, organizations, athletic teams, Greek organizations, academic departments, and administrative offices. And the goal of that was really to personally forge these relationships so that I know what is going on out there and how I can benefit, so that's why I'm running for Senate. Another one of my involvements is within the Industrial Design Student Association. We work really hard as students to showcase all of our talents on campus. So when I was on Senate, I collaborated with the other co-op representatives to create proposals so that students can design for NJIT. Another one of my goals as Senate President is to give other majors that opportunity as well, whether it's engineering or in the business school or in another major as well. So giving them opportunities to showcase their achievements and work on things that will benefit the entire student body that's not just Senate orchestrated, but student orchestrated, which is more important. My goal has always been to kind of improve the NJT experience for my fellow students, and I want to work with clubs and create a stronger network of communication between students, faculty, Senate, and professors. Because a lot of times students have a question, but they don't really know who to ask it to, and that's really a problem. And I want Senate to become that hub of communication. So if I have a question, I can come to Senate, and Senate will always know who to direct me to, and can create proposals to fix classes that we have problems with.
30 seconds.
The next president of Senate needs to have the ability to connect with our students and get to know us and understand what we really need. And I am that president because I have built so many relationships and I want to help everyone at NJIT. So I would be very thankful for your vote and thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Renee. The first question will be going to you. The question is, many people do not have a good idea or representation of Senate right now. What would you do to change that, and how would you make them more open and warm for the student body?
Yeah, that's absolutely true. As someone like Johnny outside of Senate, I think we have a better understanding of how students perceive Senate. Every now it's seen as they're very in doing their own thing and unapproachable. And my goal to fix that is to invite students and clubs into the Senate office. We should be hosting events within the Senate office, especially because we'll have a larger space. So students can feel like they're welcome in this office and it's also theirs, because as the student Senate, we elect these people, but we are still part of Senate. We are members, so we should be able to go to the office and understand what's going on, be able to ask questions. So my main goal is to start hosting events within the office to get students to start that communication network.
Yep, go ahead.
I think the main issue is that not a lot of people know about Senate. Our office is located on the 4th floor, and I can't remember the last time someone has come into the office, for a reason other than requesting money for their club. So what we're working on is a couple of things to improve that. We're going to move the office downstairs so that students can come. It's more accessible. In addition, no one should be afraid from joining Senate. You can join student at large. It's less commitment. You don't have to attend regular meetings or have office hours, and you can still get involved and learn more about Senate.
Thank you.
Am I allowed to ask a question? Say something and ask a question? Well, one thing that you're saying is that I understand you guys are going to move downstairs, and it's obviously everybody's going to pass by, so everybody goes to the campus center. But what's the difference? If you're going to be downstairs, just like you're going to be upstairs, does it mean someone's going to walk in or come or ask something other than money for the club? Doesn't really. What do you think that it's going to make it easier? Sure.
Can I rebut Mark's statement as well? Like you said, where the last time a club went into the Senate office was just to ask for money, I'd like to note that the Senate doesn't come to club offices to just hang out. We invite you guys personally first. I had every single college representative and multiple e-board members into the nucleus office because I personally invited them because I want to form that connection. I don't think other senators have done that. So I think it's not just the location, it's inviting people. That's what it needs to do.
Mark, go ahead.
Sure. I try to get around to the other e-board, to the other X Club offices as I can on the 4th floor. The location is a big deal. You would be surprised how many people don't go there. But rather than just location, we're doing other efforts to reach out to students. The public office hours program to actually get your feedback. The student feedback is really what drives the student senate at the end of the day. So we need to transform this campus from having students who are complaining about their campus or classes or something, and encourage them to really reach out to us because we're depending on your ideas so we can do something about it.
Thank you. The next question is for Johny. The president is a big role not only to represent the student body, but also to manage the student senate. What is your experience with the organization, the student senate, and how would you use your experience both either in or outside the organization to manage that large group?
Okay, so my freshman year, for the first semester, I was the EOP. I want to call it the freshman class president, and with that, it's basically I was able to work with all the students. EOP, for those of you who don't know, it's an educational opportunity program. It lasts for 6 weeks in the summer, and it's for those students that I guess didn't have the capabilities to get into NJIT on their own. So it's a program to help them get in. So I was able to work with these students and work with the advisors in the EOP office and make sure that I'm on top of all the students, make sure the students are doing well, passing all their classes. And another thing that I've helped out with is it's even though it's outside of NJIT, is with my church, whether it's hosting events such as a 5K event or an art gallery, all these other things. It has to do with working with, if you want to call them an e-board for each event.
30 seconds.
And we've been able to successfully bring in a lot of money, and everything went well without any issues.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah.
This is your last rebuttal.
Sure, that's fine. I think talking about experience is very important. For one opponent who has no experience on Senate, for another opponent who's been on Senate for 2 weeks and then dropped, I think experience is critical to the role of president. You need to have the experience to get the job done. You need to have the experience of being a committee member, of running a committee, of meeting with administration. Not to say that you can't do that work, but there's a big learning curve. And you're doing the student body a disservice if it takes you longer to be more effective as student president.
Go ahead, John.
Well, it's not as if I'm starting next semester. If I'm elected as president, the president would start from this semester and learn whatever he has to do for the next month. But even if someone that has been on Senate for 3 years, no one knows you. No one knows what you have done for Senate. It matters for,
15 seconds.
of course, a lot of people know you, but people need to understand and know what you've done. It's not just, like, coming from the outside, like I'm saying, people don't know me, I agree. But again, I've experienced what all these people have experienced. You haven't, so you wouldn't know any of the issues.
Time.
There.
Go ahead, Renee.
I'd like to also rebut Mark's statement. One, I was on Senate for a full semester. Two, I did not drop out of scheduling conflict. 3, I have incredible leadership experience on campus. I'm on the e-board of 3 different clubs. One is an X Club and the best functioning club that exists at NJIT. So do not try to discredit our achievements. And these are all transferable skills. Just because I haven't been on Senate doesn't mean I don't know how a club works. And I think to assume that says a lot about how you view clubs. Clubs are incredibly important, and my experience is exceptionally relevant to Senate.
Thank you. Mark, this question is specifically addressed to you. How will you go about transitioning from VPSA to president if elected, since you are so dedicated to the current position?
Sure. So it's no surprise that I've loved being Vice President of Student Affairs. I really describe it as being the heart and soul of Senate. If we get feedback about something or we see that something needs to be changed, we jump right into it, regardless of what the issue is. If it's academic policy, if it's writing a proposal for new equipment. So what I've been doing is I've been talking a lot to Mikey, the current president, to help transition me if I get this new role. I go to the office about 12 hours a week, which is required for a president, so I'll be well suited for the dedication aspect of it. And I really don't think I should drop the student affairs aspect of being president. As president, you are a figurehead. Your first job is to advocate for the students. So a lot of my goals, such as improving the campus center, library, and outdoor furniture and decor, those are student affairs related at heart. Really all the goals of being president are student affairs at heart because you're really advocating for the students.
Do we have any more books?
No.
Renee has one.
You do have one.
Yeah, just a closing statement about this. Senate has so much potential, and I believe a lot in Senate. And I think Senate needs fresh blood of people that have been outside this Senate community, because we have so much to offer. And because you've been on Senate for so long doesn't mean you understand what other people need. Just because you are a voice for someone, you need to pass the microphone and give them that voice and help them speak. And that is what I hope to do on Senate.
All right. Go ahead.
I'm not going to rebuttal or anything. Just thank you guys for coming. Good luck to both of my opponents.
There's still 2 questions left for everyone. Okay, back to you, Renee. This one is specifically addressed to you as well. You said you are in multiple clubs and organizations. How will you balance all of this if elected?
Well, I believe if you're on the e-board of Senate, you're not allowed to be in another organization, so I will be able to dedicate all of my time to Senate, and I will be using all my experiences of these 3 past organizations. One is an X Club, one is major specific, and one is a cultural club. And that is very diverse, and I will bring everything that I have learned from that to this position, and that will be my main focus, and I will succeed.
Thank you. You still have a minute left if you want to rebut anything. If not, okay. Johny, as the president role requires large amounts of experience and knowing the inner workings of the policy, the Senate policy, being an outsider, how do you think you'll be able to manage catching up to that knowledge?
Well, if elected president, you have to swear in, I believe it's next Wednesday. So being able to swear in next Wednesday as the future president, I will definitely have at least a month and a half just to be acquainted with everything that is done in Senate. And then I will have the summer if there's anything else that I would need to learn or anything else that I would need to know. And then after that, I have all of next year to work with the e-board committee. So it's not like I'm working alone.
And you do have your okay. Mark, how would you make Senate more approachable?
Sure. So I talked a little bit about this before. Our public office hours, moving our office space, student at larges. But really at the end of the day, it's a mindset. Student Senate has to be more proactive. We have to go out there. We got new hoodies. I'm wearing my new hoodie around campus and people are coming up to me and saying, oh wow, you're on Senate. What about this or something about that? But really as president, you have to be living and breathing Senate. You have to be walking around campus constantly thinking of ways to improve it. I'll be at another college campus and I'll say, wow, those are some really nice bike racks, right? And it's lame, but I'm excited about bike racks and I'm excited to bring it to NJIT, or I'm walking back from the campus center to my dorm and I see someone skateboarding outside of CKB, and I strike up a conversation even though it's 3 in the morning about getting skateboard racks on campus. You always have to be constantly thinking and approaching people and asking for their input, because that's what's important, and reaching out to them like that is how we improve Senate.
Thank you. Renee, the next question is for you. The role of president involves working very closely with an administration. What experience do you have with NJIT administration and working professionally?
This past semester, I know that many students will be able to relate to this, is we had a class within my major which was an absolute disaster, and there were many, many problems with it. So I started by first reaching out to my academic advisor and administration on my own to try to figure out how can I pass this class. And then when I realized that every single person in my class was having the exact same problem, I realized we need to come together as a class and approach administration together. So we did, and I was able to organize every single person in the class to meet with 2 deans, the department head, and our academic advisor to all discuss fixing this class. So my experience within administration has not just been, oh, I have an idea, la la la. It has been to make a positive change, and we have accomplished that within my major. This course is going to be going under major revisions for when we have to take it again in the future. So that has been my most recent experience, and it was very successful, and I hope to continue to do that.
Thank you, Renee. Johnny, we ran out of audience questions. If you guys have any more questions, please make sure you send them in. The poll is up here. But for you, Johnny, you came into this competition as the underdog, and you're very aware of that. What drove you to make this jump running for president?
Well, I ran for freshman class president and obviously freshman year, and I lost in that. But recently, it's like one thing that pushed me was SAC. SAC usually has events, whether they have Broadway shows or they have any events that they're hosting. And recently, I'm friends with them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, every social media page, you name it. There hasn't been a lot of events that have been advertised, whether it's having stands that they used to do in the campus center where they host their events. It's not accessible to the students, and that led me to Senate, where I said earlier, Senate, you don't know anything about Senate. It's a room on the 4th floor of the campus center, and no one knows absolutely anything. And being outside, it's someone from outside has to be able to come in and change Senate. Someone from the inside of Senate that has been there for 3 years is going to do absolutely nothing. He's going to do the same exact thing that they would do as if for the past 3 years, for the next year that they would be here. But being outside and coming in, I'm almost 100% sure that I would be able to change Senate and make sure that they're there for any student at any time.
Thank you, Johnny. Mark, this one is another one specifically addressed to you. Since the general student body doesn't even know your current role, how will you view relevant as president?
Repeat that one.
Since the student body doesn't know about your current role as VPSA, how do you think you're going to pronounce or make your role as president more prevalent?
Sure. So, like we've been saying, we've been making an effort to be more transparent, to be more open with the student body. In my 3 years on Senate, it's improved immensely since my freshman year. When I started freshman year, there were 0 student at-larges, meaning that if anyone who was at our Senate meetings or involved with Senate at all was an elected position, there was no outside interest. This year, there's 30 people on my student affairs committee. The majority of them are student at-larges, and we've had a lot of student at-larges come from that and transition to being senators, and they're some of our best workers. So already I've seen such a large improvement about Senate. One thing that we need to work on, I agree, is PR, working on rebranding ourselves, that we're accessible to students. We have a new logo and a new office, and we need to make the best use of it for the student body. And really, I just want every student to know that, you know, if I'm going to be elected president, that my office is always open. You can come to me with any concern that you have, and really, that's what we need. That's what we need to be more effective. We need your feedback. So if you have some complaint about a class, about GDS, about anything on campus, rather than keeping it to yourself, come to us with it, because we really want to work with you on that. And I think just our good work on solving student problems that the results will speak for themselves, and that'll get the word out there that
That's
Student
right.
Senate is there fighting for you.
All right, thank you so much. That was all the questions and all the time that we have. Thank you guys all for coming out, and I wish you guys all the best of luck.